Okay, I'll ask if she wants it.
Yes.
It's a long list. I mean, we can read it.
Right. This it used to be a lot longer.
Wait a
No,
minute.
no. It's not that long. It's just this.
But what's this on the other side?
This is the Hebrew. Ari Ben, hold on.
Fred Klein. So let's see if Fred Klein's here.
No.
It's a contradiction. Right? These are not the same. So which do you think is the correct?
Most of these are the Hebrew names. This is the Hebrew.
Yeah, but I'm
this
looking
is
for.
Right. Oh no. Let's see. So Fred. Yeah. You know what? It's this.
Is the big one.
Yeah, it's that. This is okay. So there was a period where we had probably 50 names, and we whittled them back to. It never got as people got better.
I can get pretty fast.
But no, this is just the one.
Which one?
The front.
The front is the correct list?
Just the front.
Don't read the back.
Right. And in fact, I don't think what we do is we read it tomorrow. I don't think we read it tonight.
Because it says, hold on.
Names on.
I did see it though. I did see it. Hold on. I did see it. Hold on. I know I did.
It just says meet ship. Okay. And go around the room. Okay.
Oh, so we're calling the people.
Oh, well, yeah. So you do it and people may
stand up.
Or may just raise their hand and say something.
Okay.
You can say if anyone has something to add.
Right.
So yes.
So reading this one?
Yes. Let's do the front.
Do the front. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
and I'll
put
this
this
back.
one. Okay,
Yes. Now they were supposed to give you in your packet the your Yortzeit and Mishaberach.
Well, the Yortzeits we have. That I
okay.
Here, this is them right here. Yortzeits for the week.
Right. This is what stays here, but they were going to print out something and hand it to you.
Okay. Well, I have tomorrow.
Okay,
it's okay. As long as I have it here, I'm good.
Back.
As long as it's all good.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fine.
Shabbat Bima and okay. So yeah, this is updated. This has announcements. This is everything. You may be better with your fingers than me. Here we go. Put this back. The truth is, we haven't been always, especially when it got a really long list.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, we try. And then we'll call people. Okay, that's yours, and this one's mine. And she made the change.
Yes. And she made the change, and
yeah.
This is a guideline.
Okay. So with the medical committee guideline is everyone masked or the people bleeding or not? What is the story?
Everybody masked.
As a general rule, yes.
The prayer leader and
okay. Discretion. Okay, you can. Okay, but no, but I'm saying that the guidance in Montgomery County, where I live, is the prayer leader does not have to be masked if there's distance. Right. But if not leading, you should be. That's their general thing. Yeah. Yeah. I tested this morning, actually.
Yes, me too.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Okay, so we'll be okay. Okay, yeah, first couple rows are breaking. Yeah.
Isn't that like a...
Okay.
Do we have a few minutes before
I'll do the page
starting?
announcements with a mask. I probably just speak without it, that's all. Just they can see me. Okay, as long as, no, I don't want to be afoul of the rules either. Okay, fine. No, I don't want to be afoul of the rules. The medical committee makes decisions. That's that. Finished it. I imagine you are. That's why I asked you. I don't want to.
Yes, sir. No.
Whatever medical committee says, if they say I have to have 6 masks, I wear 6 masks instead of 1. But they didn't say it. But okay.
It's supposed to keep everybody.
Of course.
Because then next thing you know, even if one's then.
To me, it was just.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. It's been nice. It's been a very busy intro. Let me tell you. So they say. I'm living in Maryland. I grew up in Maryland. Lived 30 plus years in New York. City. Lived in the city. Lived in Long Island. Mostly in Westchester County. Anything outside above Westchester, they call upstate, basically. Right? You've heard the story. Oh, you were in Buffalo. Was everything connected underground? That can lay it. Right. No, but today, in Buffalo, the university is connected. I don't know if that was true back in the day. It was not. Right, they had to connect the building.
I still remember the story when I was a freshman. It was October. They were putting these fences up there. And that's when the guys said, snow fences. Talking about snow fences. Snow comes this house in 50. That was October. November came, they were putting up a big wall along the sidewalks. Every row. I said, what are those? I go to the snow roofs. I said, what are you talking about? He said, what can you do? You gotta walk the class, you gotta hold on to these. The wind will blow you away. Let me tell you, when February came and December came, fences weren't high enough, ropes weren't strong.
I'm sure they were. Thank you very much. I guess you've gone out since 1962.
Rabbi.
I'm not young and I wasn't born. She's changing this one to be Zamru Adonai.
Okay.
Age 18.
And you have,
For tomorrow morning I have.
this is for tomorrow morning. You have
Yes.
this?
Yeah, you can leave another one. It
Okay.
can never be too many. How are you? Hi, Jean. Really? So did I. I went to Springbrook. Right. I'm a youngster. I'm only coming up on 40 years, so that's it. Just a kid. My 40th is actually is coming up. It'll be in the spring. It'll be 40 years. And I still have my diploma too, by the way. In mint condition, right. Well, that's an interesting question. Like, I said I have the seminary, college, gymnastics, a doctorate. What do I need that? But, I like to have it. Like, I have to admit, my teachers, I had wonderful teachers in school. I still can remember many of the names. Yeah. So somebody wrote something. I said, would Dr. Traubitz of AP English have let this pass? No, you have to have good writings. You would never have allowed this. You would have sent it back to me. We lived from when I was a young kid. We lived in White Oak. And then we moved a little farther. We lived off Randolph Road between 29 and New Hampshire Avenue. So that's when Deshared to fill over the Halpern days. May he rest in peace. And 11 days. It's got a lot of Zichrono Livrachas because it was a long time ago. But that's merged today. That's Tikvat Israel. It's part of a bigger, a different singer. Yeah, it's merged.
Are you ready?
Okay, we'll talk about Maryland definitely. Okay, so what you got?
So I'm going to introduce you.
Okay, that's all you got. The kids from Silver Spring. So I wanted to ask just to make sure. So the Misha Beros.
Cohen just texted me. We usually don't read holy names on Friday night. You can if you want.
Okay, but then we just take the names they give us. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is we just do Debbie's readings.
But
we can. Mark put that in.
Okay, so
we can if you go in.
okay, yeah, we can we'll go around the room.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
We'll read and then.
Because
if
look,
there are any
I'm going to show you. See, look, the small list and the big list.
Yes, sir.
So maybe it's any, but we just go around the room and take names. Maybe that's fine. Okay. And then you go. That's good. Right. Exactly. Right. And if it's, and tomorrow I'll read the big list. And tomorrow I'll read the big list. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. People like to read the list. It's okay.
All right.
Good. Okay. Oh, you have my picture there. Wow.
See?
Wow. I know. When you, so they say. Yeah. That is me. I was running New York Marathon that year.
I saw.
Yeah. Right. This was in front of my synagogue in Merrick. This is the sidewalk
okay.
in front of it. Yeah. That's where the photographer took me. All right. So I let you introduce you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good to see everybody. Tonight we welcome Rabbi Scott Hoffman, who's our interim rabbi candidate. Rabbi Hoffman is currently an interim rabbi at Congregation B'nai Shalom in Olney, Maryland. He's a native of Silver Spring, Maryland. He majored in biological basis of behavior and minored in Jewish studies at the University of Pennsylvania. He graduated and was ordained at the Jewish Theological Seminary and earned a PhD in Talmud and Rabbinics at NYU. He served as a congregational rabbi for over 20 years on Long Island, New York. He first served at Lake Success Jewish Center in Great Neck, and then Temple Israel in South America. His last synagogue was merged with another shul, at which point he entered the interim rabbi field. He served in this capacity at Bethel in Yardley, Pennsylvania. Rabbi Hoffman is married to Phyllis Golden Hoffman, a music teacher at PS 90 in Brooklyn, New York. They have 3 adult sons. Rabbi Hoffman is a longtime runner, finishing both the Boston and New York marathons. Welcome.
Great introduction. Thank you. Wow. Way more generous than I'd give myself, but thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. I'm honored to be here. You know, just I'm the kid from Silver Spring. That's the whole thing. Okay. But anyway, the rest is commentary, I'm afraid, to that. So anyway, delighted to be here and visiting San Antonio for the first time. I've been to Houston and Dallas, but not San Antonio. So good to be here, and good to be here with Arlene. Great to be here with you and sharing. It's going to be wonderful. So you have the Nigun for tonight?
We do.
I knew you do. So we'll go ahead and you'll start us off with the Nigun, and then we'll announce the pages, and we'll go forward from there.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la.
Beautiful. Now that we're in the spirit, we're going to ask everyone to turn in the Lev Shalem Sidurim, which you use here, to page 5. And the bottom, where the little gimel is the recitation of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu boachem leshalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu Barchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu Tzedchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon mi melech malachei hamalachim Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay, so in a moment, I'm going to be asking everybody to rise and turn in your Siddurim to page 4 for the bracha on the Adlakat Nerot, the lighting candles, and Barb Bikoff is here. Okay, there we go. And everyone will please rise if you're able to do so. Okay, everyone can be seated. And we're going to be turning, just a moment, to page 11. On page 11, and we'll be reciting the L'chun Ranana. That's right at the top of the page, right below the little aleph you'll see that heads page 11.
L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu Nikadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu Mismiro Naria Lo. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'Adonai.
Okay, beautiful. So we're going to be turning now. We're going to jump a few more pages forward to page 18. And Zamru Ladonai is the third line from the top.
Zamru Ladonai Bechino, Bechino V'kol Zimra, B'chatzotzrot V'kol Shofar. Ariu Lifnei HaMelech Adonai. Zamru Ladonai Bechino, Bechino V'kol Zimra, B'chatzotzrot V'kol Shofar. Hariu Lifnei HaMelech Adonai. Yirham Hayam Umelo, Tevel Ve'yoshveva. Neharot Yimchau Neharot imcha uchash yakad harim yiraneinu Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek ve'emim be'me'esharim yirham hayam u'melo tevel ve'yoshvefa neharot imcha uchash yakad harim yiraneinu.
Okay, so if we turn forward yet again to page 20 this time, and we're going to be starting Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. It's the third line from the bottom of page 20, and if you'll see a little arrow or triangle indicating the correct place.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtakavu lahakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtakavu lahakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtakavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtakavu lahar kodsho.
Okay, we're going to ask everyone if you're able to please rise on page 21, the Mizmor LeDavid, this 29th psalm.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod v'oz, Havul Adonai, V'od Shimo, Ishtakavu Adonai, Hadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Amayim, El HaKavod Irim, Adonai, Amayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Rakoach, Kol Adonai, Behadar, Kol Adonai, Shover Arazim, Vashaber Adonai, El Arzeh Havavo, Vayarkidem Kmo Egel, Livanon, Lisirion, Kimo Ven Remi, Maya, Kol Adonai, Hotzela Havodesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai, Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Cholela Yalom, Vayechesov, Yirarot, Uvhe Veshef Adonai Melech Le'olam Adonai Oz Le'amu Yitain Adonai Yivarech and Amo Vashalom. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi.
Okay, please be seated. We're going to continue with the Lechado D, which welcomes Shabbat as the bride into our midst, the bride of the honored guest of the day. And what we'll be doing is we'll be chanting the first two paragraphs, which are on page 23, and the final two will be on page 25. And as I'm sure you know, before the final paragraph, we actually almost literally invite the Shabbat bride in by standing and facing doors. When we reach that juncture, I'll remind everybody that we traditionally greet the Shabbat by turning ourselves around toward the entrance. But we'll begin 23 with Chadodi.
And we'll do the first two verses, the Hito will be in the middle, and then the Bowie, the final verse. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikavela Shamor Vizachor Bidibur Echad Yishmianu El HaMeyuchad Adonai Echad Ushemo Echad L'Shemul Tiferet Ve'elitila Le'echad Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikabela Likrat Shabbat Lechuvinelcha Ki Mekor HaBeracha Merosh Mikedem Nisucha Sof Ma'aseh B'machshavat Chila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Hitorari Kiva Orech Kumi Ori Uri Shir Be'eri Kivod Adonai Alayik Mikla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikabela.
Please rise and face the entrance for the final verse on page 25.
Bohi v'shalom hateret ba'ala gam b'simcha uv'tzola toch emunei am segula bohi chala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
You may be seated. We're going to be continuing on page 27, which is the Mizmor Shir, the psalm which is designated for Shabbat, the 92nd psalm.
leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la-Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la-Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. L'hagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunat baleilot, alei asor ve'alei navel, alei hikayon v'chinor. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la-Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la-Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Kisimaktani Adonai b'fo'alecha, kema'aseh yadecha ranen. Ma gadlu ma'asecha Adonai me'od, amku machshivotecha. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la-Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon.
Okay. And then the conclusion of that very same chapter of Tehillim, that same psalm, is found on the next page, found on 28. Begins with the word Sadiq Tamar Yifrach, the righteous flourish like a date palm, and that is right by the arrow. I think it's 8 lines from the bottom, if I'm not mistaken.
Sadiq Tamar Yifrach, ke'erez bavanon yizkeh, shetulim beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, ojenuvun beseva, deshenim vera'ananim yiyu lahagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri velo haflata. Erotecha ne'munu me'od lehivetcha na'ava kodesh, Adonai la'orech yamim.
Okay, so the first Mourner's Kaddish, which we'll recite this evening, will be on page 30. For those in the year of mourning or observing Yortzeit, and I will read the list of Yortzeits which are being observed starting today. and through next Friday, this coming week's yort sites. And I have this list in front of me. I'm going by the list. They're as follows: David Leverant, grandfather of Gerald Leverant; Rose Lubell, mother-in-law of Leonard Schwartz; Dr. Sidney Allen Shane, wife of Rochelle Shane; Bennett Allen Kalmans, father of Barry Fogel; Sylvia Siegel, mother of Charles Siegel; Anne Spiro, aunt of Robert Schnitzler; Henry Zucker, uncle of Craig Teplitz; Stuart Alexander, husband of Shirley Alexander, and father of Brenda Schramm, and brother of Joni Alexander. Okay. Lyubov Kotliar, grandmother of Edward Cooperman; Sidney Shanefield, brother of Bernard Shanefield and husband of Marion Shanefield; Josephine Waldgier Levy, sister of Mel Waldgier; Fred Kreiskoff, remembered by Arthur Rosenthal; Carrie Elias Marsh, mother of Barbara Friedson and grandmother of Sherry Pullen; Samuel Abeloff, father of Marvin Abeloff, and Estelle Shanefield, mother of Bernard Shanefield. So again, those in the year of mourning or observing yort site. The first mourner's Kaddish, which we'll recite this evening, is page 30. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'olma divrach yireutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei olmaya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yit adar, v'yit taleh, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, damiran be'olma v'imru amen. Yehei shlom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imroma, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. So everyone can be seated for a moment. So first of all, thank you, of course, Darlene. Thank you for sharing with me tonight. Thank you to all of you for a beautiful welcome. So many people. We were very busy today. It was a very exciting day. It was a very beautiful day. So I wanted to share with you a little thought on the reading, which we'll do tomorrow, portion of Tzaveh, but I wanted to begin with a little story of myself. And don't worry if you watch the live stream from the other, I'm doing a different story, okay? Promise. I promise, Craig, I'm going to give you a different one. So many years ago, I was commuting to do some coursework. So I was commuting pretty frequently from my home in Long Island, Great Neck, Long Island. And I was going into the city, and I needed a winter hat. I needed a hat for the winter. And I noticed there was a hat store right by Penn Station, middle of Manhattan. And I walk into the store one day. I said, I think I'm going to see if this has something I like. And if you've ever been to a store in Manhattan, there's only two types. There's those that have a ton of space in between the aisles. You're going to pay full price, okay? Stay away. And every other store, the space, because the space is this big, and it's packed with merchandise. This hat store was packed to the rim with hats of every description. So I walk in, I wonder how I'm going to find the hat. So two West African gentlemen, I can tell by the accents, we talked, I could see they have accents, and they said, sir, you're here to buy a winter hat? I said, yes, I am. I said, don't worry, we're going to bring you the hat you want. I said, well, you're going to bring me the hat I want? I said, just stand right here, we're going to bring you the hat you want. I said, okay. Sure enough, they bring me a hat. I said, that's exactly the hat I want. I said, we know, we told you we'll bring you the hat you want. We bring you the hat you want. I said, well, how did you know what hat I wanted? Because I didn't tell you anything. How did you know to bring me the hat? There's hundreds, thousands maybe of hats of every description all over the place. He said, listen, we have many customers like you. They wear this kind of knitted yarmulke, and you're a clean-shaven, modern-looking guy. And every guy with a yarmulke and a clean-shaven face and a modern look like you wants the exact same hat. So I figured you probably wanted the exact same hat as they were having. So he knew that he could tell just by the way I appeared something about me. And I had to say, only in New York would 2 West African immigrants be familiar with the taste of modern traditional Jews. Only in New York would people, like from a crazy country, but they knew their customers. I give them credit. And I thought about that a lot because we read, at some points, when you read the book of Exodus, you have the great stories, right, with the Moses and the burning bush and Pharaoh and the plagues. You get this part, you say, huh. But if you do this business long enough, you can always find something that is interesting. So I want to share with you a little bit about what Aaron the high priest wore, because that's part of portion Tetzaveh, which we'll read tomorrow, and what it means. What is the significance? Why did it matter how he dressed? What's the difference? So I want to talk about 3 things that were part of his outfit and why. So first of all, he had a little, I don't know what to call it, a tiara, and it said, a little seats to call it, and it said on their Kodesh Ladonai, it was made out of silver, and it was secured by a little thread, a bluish thread, and you just tied the back, and that's how it was worn. Sort of, kind of where you'd wear tefillin today. It was worn something on the forehead. Metzach Aharon was worn on his forehead. And another thing which he wore, which I think is quite interesting, he wore, it's a military town. No need to explain the word epaulettes. He had epaulettes. Only his epaulettes didn't have his rank. His epaulettes had, we know, the names of the tribes of Israel. 6 on this shoulder and 6 on the other, right? Shisha, Mishmod B'nai Israel, Al Even Achad, V'Shisha Shemot Anotarim Al Even Hashanit. He had 6 on this and 6 on that, translation, okay? And then he had one other thing. He had the Choshen. He had a breastplate, Choshen. This also had the names of 12 tribes. It had 12 precious stones. Some we can identify readily. Some we're a little bit guessing. Okay, sapphire, we know what that is. That's a sapphire. Others, I couldn't tell you exactly. But anyway, and they wore this right here, kind of over the heart. What's the point of all this? Why did he wear them in this way and in this place? I want to make my own suggestions, kind of my own thought on it. First of all, why wear this one? Because one way you serve God, we serve with our heads. We serve with our intellect. We serve with the mind. The best advice I ever got was from a professor of mine, he's since deceased. I said, how am I not going to run out of things to say? How am I not going to run out of things to say? I'm going to do this job a long time. Of course, if I come here for a year, I could, people suggest we're not going to go there, okay? I don't dust off old sermons, just for the record, okay? I write them new. And he told me one thing. He said, study every single day, learn every single day. You're never going to run out of things to say, ever. Just learn Torah every single day and you'll be surprised. Some days you may learn a little bit more. Some days maybe you don't have as much time and you'll learn a little less. If you learn Torah every day, you'll be fine. And for 31 years, that's been the case. That's 31 years. So that's one way. The other way is a little more pedestrian, The shoulders stand for effort, physical effort. Some things we serve God only with our hands. Only with our hands. There's a wonderful organization I give to every Pesach. I give them the Malchitim money. I send them the money. I say, listen, sell me your chametz, send a donation to the Rabbi's Discretion Fund, and I send the funds out. And an organization I happen to like is based in New York. It's called Masbia, and they are remarkable. They feed hundreds of people. They've been featured on all the major networks in New York City, right? A huge media market because of the work they do. They do, it's of course strictly kosher. They do a lot of work with the Jewish community. However, they also do work outside the Jewish community too, because they do not discriminate at all. Anyone who is in the area who needs food, they give it. No questions asked. None whatsoever. They even made a special effort because they share space with the Haitian community. When there was a disaster in Haiti, they sent food from Haiti. They said, from your Jewish brothers and sisters with love, and they sent it to Haiti. Boxed up. That's where your donation went. So you see, you have to do it with your hands. You have to pack the box yourself. You have to lift the box on a truck yourself. And that's okay. And the third, is of course the heart, right? Because you have to put your whole feeling into what you do. You have to have intention. And it's not for nothing that there's a statement that says the following. It says in Aramaic, it says, Rachmana liba ba'eh, right? The Almighty, the Merciful, desires the heart. God desires the heart. Rachmana liba ba'eh. That is, we're supposed to serve God, right? B'chol nafshecha, b'chol levavcha, You're supposed to serve God with all your heart and soul and might. So one has to have the certain intention. One has to be wholehearted in observance. So what Aaron was saying was, look, sometimes we serve God intellectually. And that's okay. That's a beautiful thing to do. You should always learn, because when you engage with the tradition, you engage with the words of our history, of thousands of years of history. You can also serve with your hands. You do something physical, something to help other people in a very basic way. And whatever you do, however you do it, you have to remember that you do it always with the heart, with compassion, because people look and say, I have an image in my head of what Jewish people are. And if we make a good image of what that is, that's going to be very, very important. We represent and model, whether we like it or not, whether Judaism's system is successful or whether it's not. So listen, to go back, I'm very glad for the observant nature of my West African hat salesmen. I hope they have been marvelously successful. I haven't been back to the store in a long time, but I know they had a great sense of the merchandise that would please their customers, but I also hope that we gave them a good sense of the kind of wise and willing to get down with our hands and compassionate people that they were selling these hats to, who stood underneath those winter hats, which they so lovingly pervade. So anyway, I want to just thank everybody again for really this wonderful opportunity to be here. It's been a delight from the moment Mickey spotted me with my hat from the West African immigrants, okay? Right, told her, just look for somebody who looks like a rabbi, you'll be good. And she did. Okay, so we're going to continue. We're in just a moment. Oh, there you are. Okay, sorry. And we're going to ask everyone to please rise. And the Mari service will begin on page 39A.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Page 40, the Avat Olam.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu J'achbeinu uvikumenu נשיח בחוקיך, ומשמחתי דברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך המבאר, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, יא לי 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 לי, באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשופך ובקומך, ושרתם להות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. So we're going to ask you to please turn forward to page 44 for the recitation of Micha Melcha. It's just a few lines from the top.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, oh sefelet. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, oh, say, fella, Malchutecha, Rauvanecha, Bokeh Hayam Livnei Moshe, Ze'eli, Anu ve'ameru, Malchutecha, Rauvanecha, Bokeh Hayam Livnei Moshe, Ze'eli, Anu ve'ameru, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, oh seifele. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, oh seifele. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, oh seifele, oh seifele, oh seifele. V'ne'emar ki v'ad Adonai et Yaakov u'galo mi'akazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
I'm going to take a moment to read in its English translation the Hashkivenu, the second Beracha, which follows the Shema, the second blessing after the Shema, before its Hebrew recitation. This is on 45. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkei nu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkei nu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkei nu l'chaim. Ushmot seitenu uvoenu l'chaim shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkei nu l'chaim. Hamitenu malkei nu l'chaim.
We ask everyone to please rise. The Vishamru, followed by the Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish, will be on page 46.
Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'azot et HaShabbat olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'toratam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael otim le'olam, otim le'olam, otim le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'toratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'toratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi, shafot vayinafash, shafot vayinafash, shafot vayinafash, vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'toratam berit olam. Yitkadav yitkadash shemei Rabbi.
Amen.
V'yamad ivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uvkayetechol beit Yisrael b'gala b'gala uvizman karil v'yimaru amen. Yahesh me Rabba mivarach le'alam ol me'amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalah shemei dekudisha rihu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiron me'alma ve'imaru amen.
The silent Amidah is found in the Siddurim pages 47 through 51.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 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 Ki ata melech adon lachol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lachol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Okay, so we've reached a junction in our service. We'll take a few moments to offer a prayer for those who are in need. Those who are in need of healing, the Mishaberach prayer, and to follow it, you can look on page 173. And what I will do is I will, at the appropriate place, I'm going to read a list I have in front of me, and I'll also offer a chance for anyone here, if you have names which you would like added, just rise and we'll recognize you, and you can add those names as well. So again, it's 173.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So I'm going to read now the prayer for the Mishaberach, and I'll recite the names which I have on the list in front of me first. And then if you have other names, I'll ask you to please rise, pray. Can you help me make sure I recognize everybody? Okay, in just a moment. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Saraf Karachal v'Leah Yivarach v'Rapei et HaCholim Barbara Arno, Daniela Valdez Vasquez, Edward Halfant, Eileen Marin, Elaine Munoz, Elena King, Gary Rosenthal, George Bussey, Jill Testa, Kimberly Lang, Maria Beck, Marion Braun, Mark Hermelin, Margot Adams, Mary Young, Matt Brown, Robin Keller, Rosario Vasquez, Sarah Ibarra, Sharon Abelo, Sharon Hermelin. Okay, if you have names, just please rise and Craig will help me recognize everybody. If anyone has any other names, I'll take them. Oh, I might as well start. Go ahead. Okay, Rabbi Ricky. Rivka. Others? Anybody else? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, thanks. Akadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim aleim lachazikam protam v'yishlach lehem nehira refuah shalem min shemayim refuat hanefesh v'od haguf v'toch shar cholim v'chazek yedidei oskim b'tzorchayim Shabbat im lizok refuah krova lavosh ta ba'agala b'zman kariv v'nomar amen. Okay, now we're going to turn back in the books to the Kaddish Shalem, which is on 54.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah Mi'alma divrach hiruteh V'amlich malchuteh V'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayidcho beit Yisrael B'gala uv'izman kariv v'imaru Yahei shmei Rabbah mivarach Le'alamu al me'amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha Brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'ama v'imaru Titkabal salotahon v'utahon dechol Yisrael Kadam uvahom nishmaya v'imaru Yahei shlama rabba min shmaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru Ohoseh shalom v'mroma Uya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael V'yimaru Amen.
Okay, we ask everyone if they are able to please rise. The Kiddush for this evening is on page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Barei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu V'shabbat kodsho Be'ahava uvratzon hichilanu Zicharon lema'aseh Bereshit Ki hu yom tehila Lamikra'ei kodesh Zecher l'tzion Mitzrayim Kivanu Vyatanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat
Okay, we're going to remain standing. We're going to remain standing. 56, the recitation of Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shapeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kimishbechot ha'adama Kenu kahem v'gor aleinu echol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim Ve'yoser Haaretz Umoshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Mima'al Ushchinatu Zo Begav Hei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efesulato Kakatu Betorato Yedata Yom Vahashvevota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hua Elohim Bashamayim Mimal Ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad Ushemo
The final Mornis Kaddish for this evening is found on page 58. So if you are in the year of mourning, the year of Avelut, or if you're observing your tzeit, we'll ask you to remain standing. All others may be seated. Before I commence, I'm reading the your tzeit's list. Are there any omissions in the list which someone wants to bring to the attention now before we make the final Kaddish? Okay. In that case, page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chaye chon u'v'yom echon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen yehei shemei Rabbi mevorach le'olam olamei almayah Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. So Craig, you have the announcements for the week? Yeah, of course. Okay, let's see if they're here. Well, you know where they are.
Not necessarily. Good Shabbos. Okay, so Just a few brief announcements. There is a concert that can be viewed on Zoom that's featuring Rabbi Josh Warshawski. You may remember Josh. He came here and visited with us a few times, and that's actually tonight at 8:45 p.m. USY Rejuvenated on Sunday, February 20th at 1 p.m. in the Cavey Family Pavilion is open to all 9th through 12th graders. Come and join your friends for a boot camp and smoothie bowls. There will be a Nike sock giveaway. Please RSVP to Melanie in the office. Kadima Pizza and Game Day is on Sunday, February 27th at 12:15 p.m. and it's open to all 5th through 8th graders. So join your friends for some fun games and pizza. Heinz Preschool Spring Break Camp is March 7th through the 11th. It's open to children 6 weeks to rising 2nd graders. So join us for a week filled with fun and activities, and the deadline for signing up is February 28th. And a reminder that the Martin and Sarah Marcus Endowed Scholarship applications are now open, and this scholarship is open to any graduating senior who is a member of Agudas Achim to attend an accredited university, a college, or vocational school. So please obtain an application in the office from Jessica. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. So we're going to do Yigdal on page 62.
Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach nimsa ve'enet metziuto echad v'yin yechid keyichudo ne'lam v'gam ein sof le'achduto in lo demut haguf ve'eino guf no ra'alok elav kedushato kadman lechol davar asher nivra rishon bein reshit lereshito hino adon Allah v'chol notzar yoreh gedulato malchuto shefan vuato netano elam shesegulato betifarto. Don't come be Israel, Kimoshe Onavi, Umahabi, Tetamunato, Torah Natan, Le Amoel, Adyan Neman Beiton, Lo Yachalif Hael, Vilyo Yamir Dato, Le Olamim Lazulato. So Fabio Dea, Sitarenu, Abit the soft Davar, Bikad Mato, Gomela Ish, Cousin me follow, no ten little Shaharakarishata, Ishlach Makitsami, Vishirenu, Leave don't be a cake, Yeshu Hato. Meitim Yechayeh Berov Chasto Baruch Adeo Hashem Tehilato Meitim Yechayeh El Berov Chasto Baruch Adeo Hashem Tehilato.
Okay, before I conclude, I see in my notes I got 2 minutes. It takes me 2 minutes to say my name, Craig, but we're going to go. I'm going to give you a little thought for the Shabbat, and I'll try to do it in less than 2 minutes. All right, here we go. So there was it's a great little story. It shows how you look at things, okay? So there's a rabbi. He's very pious, and no matter what the situation, right, he says, Baruch Hashem, thank God, Baruch Hashem. And a very non-believing man says, oh, this is Baruch Hashem. I'm tired of this Baruch Hashem all the time from you. So one day the rabbi fell from the curb and he broke his ankle. And he said, yeah, what do you say now? What do you say now? He says, Baruch Hashem, I didn't break both ankles, okay? Like that.
Thank you, Anthony.
It's even better in Yiddish. But the idea is it's how you look at things. And if you look at them in the half full instead of half empty way, you'll somehow always be able to say Baruch Hashem Yom Yom. All right, so thank you. So we're going to conclude, right, with Mim Bam. Is that how we're doing?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay, there we go.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Really? Wow.
Thank you, Anthony.